And welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. I appreciate you stopping by today. I'm actually on the road working, so I'm doing the best I can to keep videos going for you folks. I filmed a few while I was home, and I took them on the road with me, and that's where I'm doing my editing. Anyway, today, we've got an original Olds 442 restoration. This is for a friend that asked me to restore this for him, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go through and make this car original again, just the way it was. Obviously, we've got to crack it open to do that, which I hate doing, but sometimes you just have to. So grab your favorite adult beverage, join along in today's restoration of this Olds 442. Let's get started. I've already drilled out the post, and by that I mean I've taken off the mushroom cap on the end. Take your time taking this apart, as you don't want to break any parts or bend any parts. Here's the body. It's in incredibly good shape. Now we're going to have to take that wing off the back, which is no problem. You just go ahead and pop that right off. And we're going to reuse that because it's in really good shape. I've got my container here that's labeled so I don't lose any of the parts. And we're just going to put all these loose parts in there. Now again, here's the body. It's got some toning, but we'll be able to fix that. At least the hood isn't broken. Here's the base. The suspension's in good shape, but there's a lot of carpet fuzz inside the wheels. We'll get a razor knife and we'll cut that out. This back cap is broken. Now we can file that down a little bit, but I think we're going to go ahead and replace it, and I'll show you how to do that. That's going to be a lot of fun, and that alone is worth the price of admission to this video. It's got a crack in the windshield. We'll have to replace that. Here's the interior. That's in good shape. We'll clean it up with hot soapy water. So let's put all the pieces in the container. Like I said, the suspension here is pretty good. We'll clean up that base and fix that. Put some new tires all the way around. Let's go ahead and take a file and flatten out these posts. You got to be careful on the one in the front. You don't want to take off too much metal because the post is short enough as it is. And since this is an original red line, we're going to use a 1/16 inch drill bit to tap out the post. Now, some people don't tap the post on these cars. They'll glue it back in place. I'm not one of those. I like to tap the post out. You just got to be extremely careful. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. I've already drilled out the post, like I said, and I've tapped it, so we put the screws in. I used a 1/8 inch length screw for the front, and this is a 1-72 screw. And in the back, I used a 3/16 inch length screw because the post in the back is longer. These are the two sizes you're going to need if you're going to be doing a restoration on a red line, and you'll use a 1-72 tap. The drill bit, like I said, is a 1/16 inch drill bit, and this is what you'll use for those 1-72 screws. Now the screwdriver I use is a T5 Torx screwdriver, and this is what you need if the end of the screw is a Torx bit like it is here, or a Torx head. And you can get all these off my Amazon Marketplace page. They're actually incredibly reasonably priced, so grab yourself 2 or 3 in case one strips out over time. Let's move on. Here I've got the base, or excuse me, the body. We're going to dip it in the embalming fluid, or as I refer to it, citrus strip. Knock off all the excess you possibly can. And then lately, instead of leaving it soaking in the citrus strip, I've been putting it on some type of a tray or a plate or something, and then that way there, when all the paint's bubbled off, I can see it, and then I can get right at it. Let's work on the base. It's actually in pretty good shape. I think what I'll do is I'll polish it up a little bit, and we'll make it look good. We had to remove the base with the suspension and the wheels. Now we're going to polish up the body. Here I'm using Flitz. Flitz is an excellent product and I recommend it highly. Now you only want to put a little dab on the car itself. You can always add more later, but it's awful hard to take it away, and you don't want to put too much because you don't want to waste it. I've had this one tube for months now, and it's lasted me, like I said, months. It's incredible, and I love how the product works. If you want to get a special bargain on Flitz, go into my comments, and there is a 20% off discount for Flitz, and that's for the entire website. Now go ahead and check out the link in the comments, and you can get 20% off of anything on the Flitz website. Now there is a code that you have to put in there, and it says Graveyard. And just go in there and look at what they have to offer, and you'll get 20% off anything, but you got to use that link or it won't be any good. Look how nice that's working already. This is a fantastic product, and I push it a lot because I believe in it. I use this on anything that has to be polished. Now you can also polish glass or the plastic windshields with the Flitz. You've just got to use a cloth wheel, and you've got to slow the wheel down because you don't want to burn the product into the windshield because it'll build heat and it'll melt. And you definitely don't want to do that. Now as you're polishing anything that opens, like hoods or doors or anything like that, you want to hold it down with your finger, because if that wheel grabs a hold of that hood, it'll snap back and it'll snap your pins off, and then you'll be in a world of hurt. Now, yeah, you can replace the hood, but it's definitely not as good as an original. So please be careful when you do that. Same thing with doors and if you happen to have an opening trunk or anything like that. Just take your time, hold on to it so it doesn't snap back and break on you. Man, this is polishing up real nice. Now, the better you have your finish on the car, the better the Spectre Flame paint that you're going to use is going to make this car look. That's looking great. Now, if you happen to see a space on there on your car that's still needs a little bit more polishing, just put another little tiny dab of Flitz on there and you'll be good to go. When you're done with this, go ahead and get all the excess Flitz wiped off. Get it to the sink, spray it down with some Zep degreaser, and scrub it down with a toothbrush, preferably a soft one, and wipe it all down, rinse it off, and once it dries, you'll be ready for some paint. Man, that looks nice. You can also wipe it down with some lacquer thinner when you're done, and that will remove any wax buildup or anything you have on there. So definitely check out the Zep degreaser. It's a really good product also, and I use that when I'm doing all my cleaning. Let's go ahead and move on. Here we've got the body in the paint booth, and we're going to use some paint from the Redline shop. We're going to repaint this car with antifreeze. Check out everything John has to offer at the Redline shop at www.redlineshop.com, where Redlines come to life. There you can buy the world famous Spectre Flame paint. You can buy replacement wheels for your Redlines. He's got a complete line of decals there for your restorations. Check out what John has to offer. You won't be sorry. Great products, great service, and he can provide you with anything you need. I go in first on the entire body and I give it a nice light mist coat. Now, you don't want to build it up too fast because it will run, especially with these light colors. Let it set for about 15 minutes and then come back in and hit it with some more. Now here we've got all the paint on there that we need, and man, did that turn out nice. Let's put that in the cabinet, let it set overnight, and then we'll be ready to go.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Here we're going to put the replacement decals on the car. Now these particular decals I got from Second Chance Redlines. Vince has a great product at Second Chance Redlines, and he is the master when it comes to decals, especially custom orders. I rubbed the car down with some microset, and here we're going to put these decals on. Now the original car had stickers. I'm not a big fan of using stickers because they're thicker and they leave a glue residue. But if you put the right decals on and then go back in later and clear coat over them, they will last the lifetime of the car, as long as you're not out beating it up in the yard or on the racetrack or something like that. But once these are dry and you get all the fluid squeegeed out, you're going to go back in and you're going to clear coat the car to protect the decals that you just put on. Let's go ahead and speed this up so we can get to the end of the decals. These turned out really nice, and then using the microsol or the microset, you can get these decals to conform to your car. Now later on, if you have to, you can go back in with the microsol and you can make sure the decals fit into the complex curves and everything of the vehicle. We've already taken the base out of the car, and notice, like I said, this cap wheel in the back is broken. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that. Go ahead and take your razor knife and run it along the edge of the wheel, making sure that you don't throw the knife and cut yourself. You got two large cap style wheels in the back, and you've got two mediums in the front, and we're going to replace all those. Now this here, like I said, the cap itself is broken. I've got a cap from another build that I kept the wheels. We're going to go ahead and clip the very end of the nipple on the end of that axle. Take off the old wheel that's broken. I'm not going to throw it away because you never know when you need something. Here we go. Here's a new cap, or a used cap that's full. You're going to put that on. There you go. And then we're going to take these fence pliers and we're going to crimp the very, very end of the axle. You don't want to use too much here because you don't want to take up too much space. There we go. Now that's nice and flat and that cap won't come off. And there's today's tip from your Uncle Paulie. That definitely fixed up nice. Let's get the rest of these wheels off and get them replaced. Like I said, you got two large meats for the back and two medium meats for the front. Now the old wheels and stuff like that, if I can save them, I will. And eventually I'll probably wind up just selling them to somebody that wants to have a bunch of old original wheels. Those snap right into place. Man, this is going to look sharp. Now, I got these replacement wheels also from the Redline shop. I mention these places, folks, because I want you to know where I get my products from that I use on my restorations. And I'm going to have a video here in the very near future about where I get all my products from. All the wheels, all the paint, all the screws that go into the car, the sandpaper, the abrasive discs, all that stuff. It's going to be a really good video. This is definitely one you won't want to miss. Now, once we got that snapped in place, we're going to go ahead and put some glue on there. Now, be careful with the super glue because the super glue tends to give off fumes and it'll actually turn your wheels white. So be careful with that. Now, here's all the parts. Here's the body, all clear coated with those new decals from Second Chance Redlines. And the antifreeze paint from the Redline shop. That looks absolutely beautiful. And with the clear coat we used also came from the Redline shop. And I use that almost exclusively, even though I have other brands. Here's the base, all polished up with brand new meats all the way around. That looks fantastic, all nice and shined up. Beautiful. That Flitz does wonders. Here's the windshield. I do have a replacement one, and I've just got to find it. But I have one that I'm gonna put in there. I'll probably have to wind up putting this one in for now. Here's the body of the interior. That looks great. And here's the original wing. We're gonna put that back on. Let's put it all together and have our reveal.
Someone is being exhumed.
And here's what we started with. An original Oldsmobile 442. Now these cars, folks, are incredibly expensive. And I know by cracking this open, it took away from the value of this car. But the guy that sent it to me said, I want this restored. I understand what you're doing and the consequences of it, but I want it to look really, really nice. So we took it apart. We dipped it in the embalming fluid, the citrus strip. We repainted it with the antifreeze paint from the Redline shop. We put beautiful decals on there from Second Chance Redlines, and we polished everything up with Flitz. And the replacement windshield we actually got from Second Chance Redlines too. And this car turned out fantastic. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments. I try to get to everyone, but I do read every comment. Let's see the result. And here's what we got to. Look how beautiful this car turned out. This would be a beautiful member to anybody's collection. Now, again, I didn't find the replacement windshield yet, but we can take that apart since we got screws in there, not glue, and we'll be able to take it apart and put that new windshield in there when we do find it and get that installed. But since this is an American casting, it's going to have a clear windshield, and that's what we're looking to find. I did find a blue one, but I wasn't going to put that one in there. This turned out fantastic, and I got it away in the mail to the owner, who's going to be absolutely tickled pink, or hey, tickled antifreeze in this case, with the result of how this turned out. If you've got something you want me to do, I'll be happy to do it for you, but I do have a full-time job, so please be patient, okay? I promise you it'll look great. Thank you for joining me today on Diecast Graveyard. This is a very fun restoration. Like I said, if you have any questions or whatever, please put them in the comments. If you have any comments, put them in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. My name is Paul with Diecast Graveyard. We got a lot more things coming up. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Cheers.